We are doing Netflix Life Impact Analysis Prediction. This is part 1 where we are doing exploratory analysis. Here you will learn how to load the data, then what libraries can we use, what is the meaning of this particular notebook and the data set, how we can use this particular column to extract y and n. That means whether someone will recommend this particular movie to their friends or family. We have average rating, release year of movie, number of reviews the movie has got, and how it was discovered. So we can explore all of those things, like for example how it was discovered. If you want to analyze, so what we can simply do, we can write df clean dot value, and from here we can select our simple column, and then we can write value underscore counts. So we will be able to see the distribution, like most of them discovered it through Netflix original, Netflix recommendation, friend suggested 5, and so on. We will also do exploratory analysis of distribution year of release, distribution of average rating, distribution of number of reviews. Then since count everyone has suggested this movie and it is given as a percentage, so you will also learn how to change the data set into a numerical value, which we will see and use in the next part. So let's get started with it. In this project, we are doing Netflix Life Impact Analysis Prediction. The data set that we are using here is Netflix Life Impact Dataset (NLID), which is available on this particular Kaggle URL. As per the data set, you can see it is a meticulously curated collection of 80 plus transformative films designed to uncover how cinematic experience leave lasting emotional, intellectual, and behavioral imprints on audiences. For dataset license, etc., you can see the information is given here. Licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 4.0, International CC by 4.0. So now in the data set we have movie title, the genre of the movie, release year, average rating, number of reviews the movie received. Important parameters are suggested to friend or family, yes or no, and its percentage is given. Meaningful advice taken, how the media or how this movie was discovered by that person, and minutes of life-changing insights. So these type of parameters are given, and this user has given a great deal of information about the data set, about its practical usage, like you can key features can be emotional metrics, audience behavior, rigorous creation. It can be used for storytelling analysis, personalized recommendations, cultural psychology, or content creation. To get started, we are using Google Colab here. In Google Colab, we will open a cloud hosted notebook, and first we will connect to the backend. So here you can see we are connected to Python 3 compute engine, Google compute engine. Now, although we can directly use but in Kaggle itself, but here we will download it. So this CSV is only 14 KB. So let's download the CSV file and then upload it here. Select the CSV file, open. Once this file is uploaded, click on these three dots, copy path. To read the data, we will import Pandas as PD, although we will need more libraries. But the first step that we are doing is this pd.read underscore CSV, because it is a CSV file. So we will use this, and we will simply paste the copied data link here, and then we will write df.head to see 5 rows if all the columns and their titles are matched properly. After reading the data, we will import all the libraries. So import warning, that means suppress warning for cleaner output, warnings dot filter warnings ignore, import numpy as np, pandas as pd, cborn as sns. This will be used for graph plotting, and pandas we have already imported. We will import matplotlib for graph plotting. In matplotlib we will use agg. We will use agg backend for matplotlib, and from matplotlib.pyplot we will import it as plt. Later, when we will do machine learning in the second part, when we will uh, use train test split to split the data set into training and testing, and we will use random forest. So this part will be dealt later, but here we will import the libraries. So in this notebook, we will dive into Netflix Life Impact Dataset to uncover patterns and insight into how certain movies might leave a lasting impression on viewers. And our goal is to twofold: explore the data to understand these impacts and build a model to predict whether a movie is likely to be recommended to friends or family. So this is the goal. And it's a mix of exploration and prediction, sprinkled with a dash of dry humor to keep things interesting. Now let's start the cleaning. So first we will create a working copy of a data frame. We will convert the suggested to friends family column to binary value. So the column is expected to have entries like y or n. However, if there are extra characters, that is, example is percentage. So 88% y, 85% y, if it is given like that, we use a regex, regular expression, to extract the y or n and then map them to 1 or 0 accordingly. So in the clean data frame that we have created using df.copy, what we are doing is we are selecting that particular column. So this column we are using the str property, and from str we are extracting using r y or n, and expand is equal to false. When this is expanded, we will drop rows where the target could not be passed, that is, remaining null values. So in df clean we will use this column. First of all, it will extract y n n, and we will use dot not null. So drop rows where the target could not be passed, and then map the y and n values to 0 and 1. So in the same data, in the same column, we will map y to 1 and to 0. So basically, if in this column y or n is written, if y or n is written, so it will be typed as y or n, and then we will map it with 1 and 0. For good measure, display basic information about the clean data. So after cleaning the data frame, it has these many rows and these many columns. So we will write df.clean.shape 0, df.clean.shape 1. So in the shape property, we get a tuple output where 0 at 0 position we have the number of rows, and at 1 position we have number of columns. So after cleaning, you can see data has 82 rows and 10 columns, and we can now see the data clean dot head also. So here you will see suggest to family and friends is either 1 or 0. So this way one can see, you know, how to change a column like this, like 92% y. So if y is written, if n is written, then we will change it to n. So in this case, what we can do, we can also see df.clean, and we will select this column name, and we can do a value count. So here you can see all are 1. So for all 82 we have 1 here. Now we have release year, so it may have a lower and higher range. So first of all, we will see the distribution of that. So using the SNS, we will set the style to white grid. You can set it as dark grid, etc. And here we will use plt.figure. Using the matplotlib pyplot, we will set figure size to 10, 5. Then using histplot, which is used for creating a histogram, we will use the release year column. So in the clean data set, we will select one column, because in histogram we select one continuous numerical value. Here the kernel density estimation we will set to false. Otherwise, if you will not do this, it will show you a curve. Number of bins, that means in year the span can be a great range of span. So we are just using total 20 bins here, and for that we are using the color as a sky blue. Title will be distribution of release year, and X label will be release year, Y label will be count. And you can use tight layout so to make everything tightly fit, and then you can use plt.show. So when you will do this, you will see a histogram. So let's see. So after using this particular line, matplotlib inline, percentage matplotlib inline, the graph started appearing. If you are facing the same problem, you can use that. So this is distribution of release year, and as we can see here that most of the movies that we have here are released between 2018 to 2020, and you can see total number of movies that are released in 2018 to 2020 are between, on an average, 15 plus such movies are there which are highly influential. As this is done, you can also find out distribution of average rating. So same, using the histogram plot, you can use the average rating column to find out how the average rating is distributed. Here let's keep KD as true, and when you will plot this, so this particular curve appears when you put KD is equal to true, and you can see most of these movies, exactly 25 of them, have got a rating in the bin of 8. Then around 8.5 there are 10 plus movies, and around 7 or 8 movies with average rating of 9 plus. So this shows distribution of average rating. Similarly, for these movies, the total number of reviews, so you can see movies with 60,000 reviews, only 4 or 5 such movies are there, or 4 or 5 such cases are there. So here we are using number of reviews, and this shows distribution of number of reviews. So if reviews are more than 60,000, 50,000, 40,000, 30,000, etc. So you can see there are, most of the movies are in the range of 10,000 reviews. Some of them are also in the range of 60,000 reviews, and this shows how number of reviews are distributed. Now our target variable is whether someone will recommend it to friends or family, which is 1 in this case. So here you can see we are using a simple count plot, and for that count plot you can see most of the cases are 1, or you can say all the cases are 1. So this is first part of this data set where we have done the exploratory analysis. In the second part, we will start with the model building part. In the second part, since all the cases are yes here, so we can do another type of calculation here. For example, if suggest to friends and family is given as this, so here we have number, then percentage, then y. So what we can do, we can click here, and using data we can convert text to columns. So we can use delimited here. The delimited value that we can use is we will use other, and we will use a percentage sign. So then when we'll click here next, we'll finish. Now suggest to friends and family. Obviously we can see everything is given as 1 here, so we can remove this column, right? And this way we will have a number, so we can see on an average what is the maximum value, what is average value, what is minimum value, that you will suggest this to friend or family. So everything related to this exploratory analysis we will do in the next part.